Previously on Trouble in Mind.
Riverbend burned down?
Part of it did.
Firefighters pulled a couple of bodies out of the wreckage after the fire. Neither were patients or staff.
Are you alright, Stevie?
Somebody left a dead rabbit outside the door.
Something has been disturbed that was long dormant.
Are you saying I let this thing out of the box?
Someone slipped something through his mail slot. It was a postcard. The town's called Trouble, Stevie.
Moss is a solitary guy. The last time I spoke to him, he said he was going on a trip by himself. He was deep into the story of the Autumn Flyer, Stevie.
Graveyard Girl!
Hey, Wade. Is that Hanson at the wheel? Dude, don't you have a class to teach?
There are those out there who believe that following in Dorothy's footsteps will only lead to one end. Damnation eternal.
How do we get to Trouble?
The map says this should be the turnoff.
Big enough gate, no mailbox, no visible address, nothing but the deep, dark woods.
My bladder is killing me, you guys. Please let this be it.
We passed plenty of spots in the last 3 hours. You had a thing with every single one of them, like Goldilocks.
Goldilocks wasn't worried about catching chlamydia or crabs.
If you're holding out for a clean seat and 4-ply TP, keep in mind we have no idea what we're gonna find out there, or even how this guy lives. Might be an outhouse that's just right for you, if that.
No comment.
Ugh.
If there's a house or a cabin through there, it's a ways away. Too many trees to tell.
I kinda dig it. Fresh air, greenbelt, privacy.
Ominous, creepy guy at the gas station offering up fresh Texas barbecue, of all things.
I don't see an intercom or anything, and that's a pretty thick padlock.
Park up there on the shoulder. We can hop the fence.
It just looks like backcountry. I don't know that there is anybody living out there, Wade.
We walk up the drive, we'll hit something eventually.
Calling it a drive is way too generous. You're taking all your stuff?
Should I not?
Could be a long walk. A hike, even.
We get Moss to open the gate, we'll move old Joni.
Once again, that's if he actually lives here.
You think he's luring us into a trap?
Might not be him doing the luring.
The sooner we get there, the sooner we find out. But also, after being cooped up in a van while you two idiots talked about trains for 3 fucking hours, I welcome the sweet embrace of death.
Last chance to bail out, buddy. Just yank the ejection handle by your seat.
Came all this way, right? Besides, it's a chest-high fence. The moment there's trouble, you bet I'm scrambling right back over and taking off down the road.
I'm gonna hold on to the keys to old Joni for the foreseeable future.
Took you long enough. Are you okay? Did you injure yourselves on the way over?
Speaking of injuries, watch where you step. From what I know about Moss, unlike me, he was in country.
Meaning what?
Meaning, add falling into a spike pit of doom to the list of weird ways you never thought you'd die.
Joke's on you. A fortune teller at Peony already spoiled that ending for me.
Really?
No.
I'm assuming Moss is the outdoorsy type, Wade?
Gotta be. To live all the way out here, maintain this kind of acreage?
Not much into mowing. Or macheteing.
More wondering about the gun situation.
Well, sure. Most anyone from a small town's into fishing, big game.
I'll phrase this another way. Is he the kind of guy who could be into hunting the most dangerous game as a hobby? You gonna answer my question?
What is that? In the bushes.
It's a buck. Give it room, let it pass.
There's something wrong with it. Look.
Mange or chronic wasting disease? Stevie, move! Stevie. Are you okay?
It was coming right at me. Chronic wasting disease, my ass, Hanson. I saw it close up. It wasn't all skin and bones. I mean, it was, just they were inside out.
Looked like it was falling apart.
Not falling, ripped.
Could have been mountain lions or wolves.
If that's the case, the deer won, convincingly.
I've seen videos of caribou with old arrows stuck in them that healed over. They're all scarred up and angrier than hell, like they're past self-preservation now.
In case it decides to circle around, best we keep going.
I just want to point out that we're closer to the car than to, I don't know, Schrodinger's cabin in the woods.
Counterpoint, the mean fucked up animal now positioned between us and old Joni, a fact that does most of the heavy lifting if we're having an argument.
Wade's not wrong. And if we're putting it to a vote, my ballot's signed and sealed. Sorry, Hanson.
Fine. Doesn't mean I can't complain about it all the while. Hypothetically, say that thing was running from something else.
Hey, through the trees. You see that?
What? I can't see anything.
Looks like a light. Come on.
Civilization. Last.
Could be a lot worse. I was expecting a literal log cabin, to be honest. It's a normal house.
Pickup's still in the drive. I recognize it from a photo Moss sent me once. No lights on inside the house.
Come to think of it, no lights on outside either. What were you seeing, Stevie?
That's a great question. I don't know. I swore I saw something come on.
Now what?
Because we're running out of options here, other than knocking yet again, which worked so well the first couple times, try the handle, Wade.
It's open.
Notice how he turned his body sideways and winced, just in case his pen pal booby-trapped the door.
Hey, Moss? It's Wade from Vancouver. I brought some friends. They're all right.
And they definitely don't work for the government.
We're coming in.
I'm sure he won't mind if you use his bathroom, Stevie.
Oh, the need has passed. Yep.
I hear TV. Don't think he'd wander off too far.
Where do you figure it's from? I don't know, Mr. Scott. Well, from this planet? I doubt it. Well, then do you think that the answers to your questions will be much easier after we've examined the...
Moss? Hello? Nobody here. I'll check upstairs.
Off to a good start.
Maybe he is out hunting. I'd take it up if I had a backyard like his.
So we wait and see if he turns up. Stevie.
Surprisingly empty. Real tidy fella. A lot of beer and not much else.
Bet he's got freezers full of meat. Some of these guys just live off the land.
A man's man. Totally self-sufficient. A fridge full of Pabst from the bountiful, ever-flowing PBR springs.
He might not trust the water. Hey, letters on the table. No name anywhere, but these are addressed to the P.O. box in Battle Horse, I think. Paper trail's lining up, at least.
Then why doesn't it make me feel any better about all this? He was halfway through the morning edition. Think he drives out to a newsstand in town every day?
Gotta stay current somehow. Well, how else is he gonna find out today's the day that society has collapsed?
We can rule out current as one of the things we do know about Moss, by a safe margin. This newspaper is from a year ago. Front page is box office buzz about E.T. It's release weekend. Either he was confused or...
He really likes E.T.?
Or he hasn't been around for a year.
I didn't want to say it.
Guys, I found something.
It's a gas can.
Yeah, well, right. I found something somewhere it isn't supposed to be. This was in Moss's bedroom, just sitting on top of the duvet. There were a couple more gas cans near the front of the house. I didn't think too much of them at the time when we were walking in. Then I went down to the basement.
Basements. Boy, all the rage these days.
You should see what's down there.
It's gonna be more Jared cans, right?
Obviously, the amount of gasoline Moss has down here is not safe and not normal and shouldn't go unaddressed, but I'm ready to move past that and focus on the dark, creepy, person-sized hole in the floor we're all staring at. Only if you guys feel the same way.
No objections from me.
None whatsoever.
What the fuck? Why the fuck is there a hole beneath this house?
And did something go into the hole? Or did something come out?
Jesus. Wade, hey, be careful. Don't get too close.
Punched through 6 inches of concrete, just about, then on into the rocky foundation. But I can't really see much from here. There isn't enough light. Looks like it curves off and runs away from the house. Definitely big enough for a person to fit through if they belly crawled.
Did Moss do this?
I don't know, but during the war, Moss told me he had one job. He was a tunnel rat.
From the sound of it, I'm assuming it's awful.
They were the guys that got to crawl into Viet Cong tunnels with nothing but a flashlight and a .45. Maybe a bayonet. Sometimes there'd be traps, trip mines, and even live snakes. Other times they'd crawl into a U-bend that the enemy would start filling with water until they drowned. There might be cave-ins, or they might just go down the wrong tunnel and get stuck. Permanently.
Oh god, screw that. Wade, you're not seriously thinking of climbing down there.
Not right now, I'm not.
I want to get out of here, even just looking at it. Hanson?
I was right, Stevie. His freezer's stocked with animal meat. Bags of venison, and if I had to take a guess, these used to be rabbits.
Okay, so it's within the realm of possibility that Moss was behind both of our visits.
I still think it's a stretch, not to mention physically impossible.
What if he's just some deranged psychopath you let into your life? And mine. You've never met him in person. You could have been talking to anybody over the phone. And if he's using this tunnel to come and go, doing God knows what... Hanson, could you find something to cover up this hole, please?
Yeah. Come on, Wade.
Well, what if Moss is still down there?
Then cover it up and fucking nail it shut!
Are you okay, Stevie?
It's pitch black outside. It's supposed to be summer.
The moment the sun goes down, the woods are a terrifying place.
We're striking out. More than just. We're flailing down and away.
We came out here on a whim. There's gonna be a lot more of that.
I wasn't expecting much. Maybe a nice dead end. Just so we could say we tried. Now I just have more questions. It doesn't help that this whole place is just Reapy.
Anywhere unfamiliar is.
I'd take a really nasty motel in a heartbeat right about now.
Me too. But it's a little too dark and a little too far to get back to the car tonight.
So we're stuck here.
Better in here than out there. Let's make the most of that. You hungry? His pantry's better stocked than your apartment, Stevie. There's a whole turkey dinner in this can.
I'll stick with the SpaghettiOs. Where'd Wade go?
He went outside.
Outside?
Check the back.
Hey, Stevie. Pull up a seat and get toasty. Just about ready.
What you got there?
Saw this old thing when we were looking around today, and there's plenty of firewood in the shed. Lift off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are floating in space.
Always loved that smell.
What makes us human?
1 second, Wade. Can I help with anything, Hanson?
It's not exactly haute cuisine. Go, sit, get comfortable.
Appreciate you, Moss. But please don't sneak in and murder us in our sleep tonight. Okay. If you were in the silo, Wade, fingers on the key. Message on the screen says Soviet ICBMs are in the air. 6 minutes to impact. Really think about it. What would you do?
That's easy. I wouldn't be in that position in the first place.
I mean, your legal situation aside. Surprise, you're being called back into action, soldier.
Doesn't matter. I'd still never step foot in the recruitment office. I don't believe in violence.
You're telling me if a Soviet submarine just pulled up to the eastern seaboard and a bunch of Kalashnikov-toting baddies in sunglasses hopped out, you know...
Stevie, don't.
Privet! Greetings from Red Army. 5-year plan. Seize means of production. Dialectical materialism.
No,
Da.
can't forget that one. That's a big one.
You wouldn't wrap yourself in the American flag and absolutely go to town?
Are they coming here to take over and subject us to the horrors of workers' rights and universal health care?
I either want none of what you're smoking or all of it. And then they went bang, 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 bang. Lots die. It's sad. You wouldn't turn that key?
I wouldn't even think of picking up a rifle, Stevie, but I'm suddenly gonna wipe out 8 million in Moscow with the push of a button?
But Wade, they're commies. Poor and scary. Threatening ones, too. Evil, evil Ruski. So poor. So evil.
Dinner's almost ready.
Oh, Hanson. Very important question. Who are we nuking?
Is she always like this?
Yes, she is. Boston, screw 'em.
The hell, Hanson?
Wicked. Rid the world of the Red Sox and the Bruins in one fell swoop? We'd be heroes. We'd be like Oppenheimer. Good pick. Who's next?
Does she do this on purpose? Was she born bad, or is there tragic backstory I need to be filled in on?
I never know.
Would you believe this discussion started with the Milgram experiment? Look, the only way to win is to not play, right, Stevie? Wasn't that the entire point of war games?
Besides getting to watch a cute boy play computer games?
He was in high school.
Oh. He wasn't that cute. But yeah, I guess. Nuclear wasteland, untold suffering. Lucky are the vaporized. And, oh, dinosaurs.
There are those who say the moment we dropped the A-bombs on Japan, humanity opened the door to something, morally and technologically. What if these are the consequences? This paranoia and fear, true fear, and feeling stuck, like it's purgatory.
Soup and pasta, just like Dad used to make. We still talking about the end of the world as we know it?
DEFCON 5, for now. Thanks, Hanson. So, did your dad hate you?
Just means you need another beer in ya.
Or 3.
Hanson, you're falling behind.
Thanks, Wade.
Thanks for setting this up, Wade. It's nice.
My pleasure. One bright spot of this whole trip, at least. Wish Moss was around for this. Hope he's okay.
Any reason he wouldn't be?
Other than the fact that he's MIA?
Well, I was looking around in the basement.
You went in the hole.
I didn't. Moss has a big metal barrel in the corner of the room. You saw. I took a peek inside.
Oh no.
What?
He has turkey in a can. Not a stretch to assume there'd be people in a people-sized can.
Or just people byproducts. For reasons. Leather?
Easy, you guys. Now, I'm not completely sure, only just pretty sure, it's napalm.
What I know about this guy, there's gotta be a copy of the Anarchist's cookbook somewhere on this property.
Yeah, isn't that par for the course? Napalm's the least horrific possibility here. Those poor federal postal workers or whatever, but...
It got me thinking about Riverbend. The bodies they pulled out of there the night of the fire, I knew them. We weren't best friends or anything, but I knew them. They were Jim and Jim. We'd run into them time and time again.
You said they meant to burn the place down, that something compelled them to.
That's what I kept getting hung up on. Jim and Jim didn't buy into ghost stories, not even a little. They kind of scorned the conspiracy community as a whole, a fact that made them unbearable most of the time.
Made them unbearable.
But you couldn't call them crazy. News painted them as arsonists, but that's a hit job. They published a zine about historical preservation and chained themselves to bulldozers.
So crazy, but in a different way.
Me and you drove down to Kent State to protest the shooting, the last time I was down here. We thought we might be standing in the way of bullets, Hanson. We still went. Tell me about crazy some more.
You believed in something.
Almost positive Jim and Jim didn't. So what made them even try? And more than that, why didn't they succeed?
Even if alcohol wasn't involved. You know, these old buildings, a fire breaks out, and maybe they got turned around.
Or, being as popular as they were, maybe they ran into the wrong people. Maybe the hospital was an unfortunate bounce.
I'm just sensing a pattern here. Jim and Jim, Moss, they listened to the Collar and Riverbend tapes.
We all did.
I think they heard something you and I missed.
How is that possible?
Hidden messages in the frequencies. Subliminal encoding, or they're evil.
Oh, is that all?
If they're cursed, hate to tell you, but we got some on us too. Hell, I brought them with me on this trip. My god, what the hell is that?
Something doesn't want us to leave.
I hear a train horn. Could be wheels slipping on the tracks, but it sounds like something's wrong with it.
Whatever it is, it's giving me a headache, making my skin crawl. If I had to listen to that every night, I'd probably go crazy too. I think I need to lie down.
If you're calling it a night, I saw a guest bedroom upstairs.
That's a genuine surprise.
You take it. Me and Hanson can find a couch or a recliner.
Could be worse. We used to sleep in old Joni for weeks at a time.
She was just Joni then. No pang of nostalgia there. You couldn't pay me to spend another night in her.
I still have chronic back pain.
December, whatever. The conductor Wallace's body taken from the train at the very next stop. Gold Run, California. Not much to see. Delayed there, since they needed to wait for the local hospital to open. The man's death did not remain a secret for long. Just about everybody aboard the train had risen for the morning, crowding and blocking the corridors to watch the hubbub from the windows. Deputies arrived at the station and took statements from the railroad men and Dr. Caldwell. Was informed the train would not depart until the afternoon. Therefore, had lunch at a Harvey house, afforded myself a glass of Riesling. Couldn't possibly stomach anything else. Afraid it would all come back up later on. An unconscionably poor investment when you're paid by the word. Joined there by others from the train. It spread amongst the men the conductor had suffered a suicide, but they did not see his wound. The poor bastard, they had all said. But by the time we had finished with our meals, the story had transformed somehow, taken a turn. I could barely fathom when or how it happened, as if some black words had been spoken. What if it was murder? Someone had wondered aloud. A hex. The very question persisted, even when we reboarded the Autumn Flyer. Like brush fire, the idea spread from car to car until the entire train was awash in the white heat of what could have been. It was a crafty being willed into existence, allowed to dig its claws into flesh and not let go. A shrill, constant bloodsucker gorging itself half to death. Perhaps it was boredom, that killer. Or old paranoia that came once, put up its feet, and never left. These poor men, more than any others, would be susceptible. They spent so long afraid of being thrown from their racks into watery death by way of a sly torpedo striking home, afraid of the warning cause of zeros on the horizon, the months of night raids, and the fear of being run through by a sneaky Japanese saber. It's left many of them god-awful sleepers, always looking over their shoulders. Jumpy, quick to anger. It would only be a matter of time before suspicions turned into accusations. As I moved up and down the train, looking for men to interview, I assuaged them, insisted that Mr. Wallace had taken his own life, as Dr. Caldwell had observed. I'm almost certain they didn't believe me. They thought that I was saying so for attention. All too used to this kind of reception. I then let the matter lie after I became sufficiently fed up, as per usual. I must also call attention to the fact that there is a stranger aboard the train. He got on in San Francisco, I am sure of it. His presence has not gone unnoticed by the other men, either, on account he is a foreigner. Japanese, but not from the island of Japan. He wears an American uniform. Army Air Force. Can't tell if this makes it better or worse for the others to see. They stare and give each other dark looks when he passes through. Disgraceful, I overheard one say. The stranger keeps to himself mostly. I would too, if I were him. Hello? Hello? Hanson? Wade? Hey, guys. Hanson, wake up!
What? Stevie? What is it?
Did one of you come in my room?
What time is it?
Someone opened my door.
It's 3 a.m, Stevie.
No, it's not.
Check the clock.
There's no way. You guys were just putting out the bonfire.
Hours ago.
We had a bunch more beers and then passed out on the couch.
I thought you guys were still up. I saw the light from the TV. What is this? What are you guys watching?
I didn't turn on the TV.
Me neither.
Is that a tape in the VCR? It's on pause, I think. What are we looking at?
It's a church in the woods. That's unsettling. I'm unsettled.
Press play, Wade.
That sign. It says trouble. I think Moss recorded his trip.
It's idyllic.
Shoot me if I ever end up in a small nowhere town like this.
That's different. I don't think we're in trouble anymore.
Video must have been taped over.
That's Moss. In the mirror. He's back here. His place. So he made it back from trouble.
What is he doing?
Holy shit.
Is that it?
He was trying to burn the place down. That's the basement.
This is not your house.
Moss is now armed.
What is he? No.
Oh, fuck!
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god! Wade. Okay, I'm turning this off.
Wait.
He's still alive. But his jaw.
He's in shock.
Where is he going?
He went in the hole.